Shalom, all praises, blessings, glories, and honors to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Racha Kodash. Double honors to my elder apostles and bishop elders of Great Millstone who told me this truth, as well of men of like mind. Shalom wa chasad, which means peace and mercy to the elect of the nation of Israel, only you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and Israelite foreigners of the seed line of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whom are scattered here in America, which is Babylon the Great, and abroad. To you I say Shalom, beginning with the 144,000 prophets, and Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, willing. This lesson is edifying and informative. My name is Quanawath, and without further ado, let's get into the lesson. 2 Ezra, chapter 15, verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. From the Merriam-Webster's Dictionary concerning the word sedition: incitement of resistance to or insurrection against lawful authority. Insurrection, an act or instance of revolting against civil authority or an established government. In the news from the RT, Nero warns of bloodbath if he loses presidential vote. The U.S. might never have another election if he doesn't win in November, the former president has said. Former U.S. President Donald Trump, aka Nero, has warned of a bloodbath for the American automobile industry and the whole country if he doesn't win a second term as a result of the vote on November 5th. Trump made the remark during a rally in Vandalia, Ohio, on Saturday while he was speaking about his plans to protect U.S. car makers from Chinese competition. The former president addressed China's leader Xi Jinping from the stage, saying that you and I are friends, but those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, you're going to not hire Americans and you're going to sell the cars to us. No. We're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars if I get elected. The presumptive Republican nominee in the election added. Trump urged Americans to vote for him in the fall, saying, now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. And that'll be the He also cautioned the crowd that if this election isn't won, I'm not sure that you'll ever have another election in this country. Trump's speech that evening was mostly impoverished as he complained about not being able to use the teleprompter due to the strong winds. I can't read this damn teleprompter. This sucker is moving. Like reading a movie flag in a 35 miles per hour wind, 77-year-old said. The team of U.S. President Joe Biden interpreted, Trump's mentioning of a bloodbath as a threat of political violence from their rival. He wants another January 6th, but the American people are going to give him another electoral defeat this November because they continue to reject his extremism, his affection for violence, and his thirst for revenge. Remember how Nero started a fire in ancient Rome? Nothing new under the sun. Biden's campaign spokesman James Singh said in a statement, Trump campaign spokeswoman Carolyn Leavitt responded to the accusations later on Saturday, telling CNN that crooked Joe Biden and his campaign are engaging in deceptively out-of-context editing. Leavitt clarified that the former president was speaking exclusively about the country's car manufacturing industry. No, he actually meant more than that. Because you have a lot of patriotic Edomites out there, and heathens too, and niggas, or our own people, that love this man's system so much that they have become patriotic. So much so to the point that they are willing to defend this land and fight for Nero Donald Trump. And if he loses, there will be a civil war. There will be insurrection, especially uproars from those patriotic Edomites. Biden's policies will create an economic bloodbath for the auto industry and auto workers, she said. And this includes the article, so we understand how to read in between the lines through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakodash, because very soon there will be insurrection. And all this will happen during the evils of Jacob's trouble. For there shall be sedition among men. 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men. And we just read earlier what sedition is. Sedition is incitement of resistance to or insurrection against lawful authority. And insurrection is an act or instance of revolting against civil authority. And many patriotic Edomites that are willing to sacrifice their lives for this land will revolt against the civil authority or the established government of America, Babylon the Great, should Donald Nero Trump, whom they love so much, even as their God, loses. There will be sedition. There will be race wars. Okay? Nations against nation. Civil war, race wars. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. They shall not regard their civil authority nor their local leaders or their government. And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So people will take things into their own hands, man. A man shall desire to go into a city, but shall not be able. Why? Because the cities are going to be closed off. Because society is going to be imploded and at a standstill. Your tunnels are going to be closed off. Your bridges, your train, railways, your airports, your ferries, your stellings. All these places are going to be closed off because of insurrection, because of sedition, because of evils. For because of their pride, because of the pride of the people, the city shall be troubled. Refer to 2 Ezra chapter 8, verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world because you have walked in great pride, roughly paraphrasing the scripture. The houses shall be destroyed because during those evils and society implodes, a lot of wicked men are going to be taking the opportunity to pillage the homes of other men, raping their daughters, their wives, their sons, and taking all their goods as spoiled, as booty. And men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. Our Lord Yahweh Shai said in the book of St. Matthew 24, verse 12, that because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. All right? But shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods, which means to take their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation, because there will be famines. Hey, if you haven't seen the documentary How It Will Go Down on YouTube, I suggest you take a look. A great scenario that aligns very well with prophecy and for great tribulation. So, in any case, we should expect to see a bloodbath, regardless if Nero Trump loses, because according to biblical prophecy, there will be much slain of the Lord. Jeremiah chapter 25, during the bad times of Jacob's trouble. Verse 33, and the slain of the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, shall be at that day. And so the slain of the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, shall be at that day during the bad times of Jacob's trouble, wherein the Lord will appoint over the sinners of his people, would say that the evils shall not overtake nor prevent us. That's what they say. 4 kinds: the sword to slay, the dogs to tear, the fowls of the heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. Such as are for death to death, such as are for the sword to the sword, such as are for the famine to the famine, and such as are for the captivity to the captivity. According to Jeremiah the 15th chapter, and according to Jeremiah chapter 16 verse 4, they shall die of grievous deaths. Right? So the slain of the Lord shall be at that day from one end of the earth, even unto the other end of the earth. So there will be, according to biblical prophecy, much slain. Okay? Much killing of the Lord. So there will be a bloodbath regardless onto the other end of the earth. They shall not lament, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground. Pardon me. So all the slain of the Lord, including 2/3 of the nation of Israel, in particular, because the Lord is only worried about Israel. He only cares about Israel. Amos 3rd chapter, you only have I known of all the families of the earth, will perish during the evils of Jacob's trouble. In other news report from the Sputnik, Niger breaks military agreement with U.S. reports. The Nigerian government terminated the military agreement with the United States, which allows U.S. troops to remain on the territory of the African country. Reuters reported, citing the spokesman for the military transitional government of Niger, Amadou Abdramani. As a result of a military takeover in Niger on July the 26th, 2023, President Mohamed Bazoum was ousted and detained by his own guard, led by General Abdurrahmani Tachiani, if I pronounce his name correctly. If I didn't, forgive me. Following the takeover, for you brothers and few sisters that speak that language, that they speak, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, threatened military action against Niger after the country's Western supported leader was thrown out of office by the country's military leadership. But they quickly opted for sanctions instead. After Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso announced that they plan to leave ECOWS, the bloc dropped sanctions on Niger and urged the three nations to remain in the organization. This concludes the article. This is a brief report of what's going on abroad. So with that, I'll baratisar this lesson as being edifying and informative. Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua willing. And Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua willing. I'll see you in the next one, Lord's willing. Shalom.